Hi. In this video, you'll learn about how you can build multi-agent systems with the help of Docker C-Agent and the Nebius Token Factory. So what exactly is C-Agent? So it's an open source, customizable multi-agent runtime by Docker that makes it super simple to orchestrate AI agents with specialized tools and capabilities in order to manage the interactions between the different agents. And some of the key features about this C agent is that it comes with a YAML configuration. So what that means is that you define your entire agent ecosystem using simple declarative YAML rather than having to use complex frameworks like LangGraph, LangChain. You can just do all of that within this YAML, and it comes with built-in reasoning capabilities. So it has access to different tools like think, to do, and even memory that enables much more sophisticated problem solving and context retention across multiple sessions that you aim to do. And it has support for multiple types of AI providers for LLMs, including Nebius. So if I quickly search for Nebius, you can see that it comes with support for multiple types of AI providers, including the Nebius Token Factory. Now, if you are not aware about what exactly is Nebius Token Factory, so Nebius Token Factory allows you to be able to run and test out and even fine tune AI models. And these are primarily open source models that are available. So all the way from the latest and greatest models from OpenAI like the GPT-OSS or Moonshot, Kimi, K2, or even the Quen set of models. You can find all of them, and there is a ready-made playground where you can go and test these out as well. If you want to fine-tune your own models, you can also fine-tune your own models as well. And you can categorize them based on whether you want to look at embedding models or text-to-text or image-to-text. You can get a lot of different types of models that are supported. So the great thing is that with this kind of model support, you can use them while building your AI agents with the help of C agents. And it also does have a lot of rich configuration. So with C agent, you can not only connect it with the multiple AI providers, but it also comes with built-in support for MCP, which is the Model Context Protocol. So in order to basically install cagent, you can just do brew install cagent if you're using Mac OS, or if you're using Windows or Linux as well, you can also get the pre-built binary. Now, in terms of like understanding the architecture, so here is one example that has been provided by the Docker team in the open source GitHub repository, and you can see a few different things like having a multi-agent team example where you can see that you can technically have multiple agents, not just like a single agent, but you can have multiple. As an example, I can quickly show you. Here is a super simple example where we are just using one agent, and this is just using the MCP tool. But the core part or the core components that we have with the C agent, if you see carefully, is so whenever you are basically defining our agent, we always start with this version 2, which basically describes the current configuration schema. Then you basically go ahead and define what all agents you're going to be having inside of your entire application. So of course, every application or the agent that you're building will need to have a root, which is the top level agent, and it basically coordinates the different tasks. So in this case, like if you have multiple agents, it's kind of like the orchestrator, and every agent will have a few different things like the model. So what's the model provider, the description, and any specific instructions that particular agent should do. And then you'll also have something called as a tool set, which allows the agent to be able to connect the agent to external tools. Now, this could also extend to memory, but here, for example, we have example of the MCP. So let's take an example of this in action with the help of the Nebius Token Factory. So I'll just quickly first show an example of a multi-agent C agent example. So here you can see that if you look that we have the agent, which is going to be the root agent, and we are using a Nebius model. And here we are seeing the description as helping us to write technical blogs. So here you can see the instruction that have been set for this root agent, or which is the primary orchestrator agent. And we have things such as here are the team members in your team. And then it basically what it's saying is that these are the other two set of agents that will be used. And then we define the overall workflow. So for example, if a user says, I just want to write a blog post around AI and context engineering. So the web search agent will search the web for that information and then pass that context over to the writer agent that finally gives us a result. And here you can see we have given some specific set of instructions, and here you can define your sub agents as well with the help of the web search agent and the writer agent. And we also have the type of tools. So depending on whether you want to use MCP or you want to use a thinking tool, which is similar to a deep research mode that you get with some specific type of models. And here you can just define and configure what all tool sets you want to use. You can find the list of all of the tool sets inside of the C agent documentation. So in this case, we are using the thinking one to ensure that we get proper information about the query that the user has asked. Now we can see the first sub agent where it's the web search agent, and it's basically going to use the MCP from DuckDuckGo to actually search the web. And then we have the next sub agent, which is the writer sub agent, which takes the context from your web search agent and then drafts a blog post of 750. And then, we have given it some specific instructions. And the most important part now is the built-in integration that is already there for the Nebius Token Factory. So in this case, I'm defining the Nebius with the provider as Nebius. And the model that we are using in this example is the Moonshot Kimi K2 instruct. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that when you are setting this up, you also have to initially, like before you run this agent, just ensure that you create a Nebius API key. So in your token factory, you can get it over here, which is like get API key. So just log in and generate the key, and then you can export it. And then when you decide to use the provider as Nebius, it will start to work. Now, in order to actually go ahead and run this agent, it's simple. You just use the C agent CLI. So you can see the list of all of the commands that we have. The C agent run will allow you to run that particular agent. First, let's go ahead and run that, and we'll come back to the other parts of the C agent as well. But here now we can see that it enters into this visual mode, which will now allow us to be able to interact with our agent. So here I can say help write a blog around iPhone 17. So it starts to do is it will first gather that yes, it should use the web search agent because our orchestrator agent is telling us to use this. And then it confirms that yes, we want to use the search tool. I can just say yes. And it starts to do the search around with the help of the DuckDuckGo MCP. And that is why it's basically saying that it wants to use this. So we'll just say yes. And it's fetching the content, and we'll just allow it to continue doing this over time. It's now fetching all of the content that we need to synthesize, and it will now use the thinking mode in order to go through this content. And eventually, what will be done with is that once the web search agent has completed, then, it will go ahead and synthesize all of this information, keep on reiterating until it finds the most accurate information. And from that, it will be able to synthesize all of that and eventually go and pass it on to our blog writer agent that is, going to be synthesizing this as a blog. So of course, it's just keeping on asking once it's done. So once this entire web search engine has given us that concrete information, this will be passed on to the writer agent, and then it will go ahead and be able to deploy it. So, or write the blog for you. So in this case, you can see that it comes with a really nice, well-structured blog here. So after, it has done the summary, then it will go ahead and run the information. And now you can see that we have finally the writer agent coming into picture, because that has been passed as context over to a writer agent, and it gives us the result here. And that's one of the great things about C agent, that, you can truly have multi-agent experience by just defining all of that in a YAML, which makes it super simple. And the great thing is that it's basically using the Docker's ecosystem, which means that if you're using something like Docker Hub, you can actually publish your C agents. So for example, if you're using C agent and you want to share your agent that you've created with others, you can see the command here, which is cagent help. You can actually, in fact, publish your agents that you have created by doing an cagent push, which basically pushes this agent to an OCI registry. What that means is that your entire infrastructure that you generally use for Docker for being able to create containers, container images, you can think of your agent as being packed as a container image and being uploaded to Docker Hub. And now it's super simple for you to be able to then share it with others. So for example, I have an example here. If I go to maybe I can search for one of these C agents that I have created. So I should be able to eventually like find that. If I, okay, maybe like I can log in and I can try to find the one that I deployed and we'll try to pull it. So that's this one. So I can just literally do like C agent pull and give the name of that agent, and it will pull this agent, which is of course packaged as an OCI artifact. And here you can see that it pulls this agent, and now I can actually go ahead and run this agent as well. Of course, like there are a few things that are not completely configured, but this should give you an idea that how simple it is to be able to write your agents, run them locally, and then also publish them with the help of Docker. And of course, all of this is also not possible to do without having a good LLM, because ultimately, whatever the agents decide, the LLM is the brain. And for that, you can leverage the Nebius Token Factory to be able to use their LLMs and couple it with the Docker C agent as a great way to build and run open source AI agents, and that you can share with others as well. So that's a quick tutorial on how to build multi AI agent systems with the help of C agent and the Nebius Token Factory. Thank you.